Hey, you guys, so let's do some Hoe Math. Thanks to everyone who recommended that I watch the Hoe Math chart. And I watched the video, and I think it's really, really good. He shows what men look for sex or dating and what women look for. And I thought he did a really good job. So here's the chart. And I'll put the video in the description so you can watch it. The thing that men look for, and I'll put the chart up in a moment, they want a woman who looks good, who has a good personality, and who doesn't have too many men hovering around her, like she's not signaling to all these men. So I think that's true. They want a woman who's attractive. Personality matters. Is she easygoing? Is she fun? Is she pleasant? Does she add to my life? Do I enjoy her company? That matters. And then they will categorize women based on the looks, the personality, and how many men are hovering around her. Whether that's a keeper, a woman they want to keep, whether it's a sleeper, someone they're just willing to be friends with and fuck for however long, or a sweeper, someone you want to sweep under the rug because, like, I wish I had never fucked this woman to begin with. And so the chart kind of looks like this. Now, for the ladies, there are a lot more categories, and women, instead of just wanting looks and personality and not a lot of other men around or a lot of other women around, women are looking for you to provide them resources. Yes, we want your resources. Okay, now I'm speaking from the woman's point of view. Not just money, your time, your emotional input, your emotional investment, your financial investment, your time investment. I want you to invest in me before I'm ever going to give you the time of day. And I want you to not embarrass me in public. I want you to be presentable so I can be proud to be seen with you in public. If I'm embarrassed to be seen with you in public, it's not happening. Okay? So, but he doesn't have anything there for personality. He just has investment and presentable. And then women also have a category, whereas men have personality. We have a thing that we want someone who's a bad boy, which is masculinity. I think he could have maybe portrayed this differently, but he was trying to put all this on a chart. Whereas men will look for personality, women look for masculinity. So maybe personality is the same as femininity, like pleasant, easygoing, fun. We look for masculinity in order to feel attracted to you. Masculinity being the qualities of dominance, power, confidence, smoothness, and the dark triad. And that doesn't mean you're a convict or that you steal. Bad boy means that you're a dominant person who marches to his own drum. You're not trying to gain my approval. You're not trying to please people. You're willing to go out on a limb and stand for something. And you're kind of like physically strong and independent, autonomous, like a guy who's willing to go into the wilderness with his dog, but also come home and bring me a steak. So there has to be this component of caring about me, but also the bad boy. And the guy who is the ultimate in providing resources and is presentable and is the bad boy, that's the Prince Charming. That's a unicorn that doesn't exist. But that's kind of what we all want. The bad boy, I'll tell you why he's intriguing, because he's masculine. See, a masculine man is not looking for approval. A man who's dominant and confident and smooth and has power, he's interesting, he's adventurous, he's not seeking approval, he's strong and stable. That's very attractive, and he's probably good at fucking. Because the average woman loves being pinned down and having her hair pulled and being fucked really good in bed, sensuously, passionately. With bad boy, I'm not talking about a criminal. I'm talking about a guy who's not trying to be nice. It's the opposite of the nice guy. The nice guy is not kind. He's a wishy-washy doormat. And the bad boy is not a convict, but he's a confident man. And that's very attractive to a feminine woman. Now, some women are very controlling. They want a very docile man that they can boss around. So, there's that too. But let's go into this a little bit. I'll show you the chart that he made for the women, which is a lot more. Now he's saying that women will generally want guys in this category because the Prince Charming is so rare. So they're kind of staying in this category. Because what happens if you go too down, if the good guy, he's got to be somewhat of a good guy, in terms of investing in us and being presentable. He has to be enough of a good guy that we want to fuck him. He's got to be a good enough guy and a bad boy at the same time. But if he is just a good guy with no bad boy qualities, he gets friend zoned. Because the bad boy owns his sexuality. That makes him hot. He's like, I like to fuck. I want to get, I'm gonna pin you down and fuck you. I just want to fuck you. Rather than, I'm gonna pretend to be her friend, and maybe then if I listen to her problems, maybe one day she'll like me. That's very turn-off-ish. Just wimpy, wimpy, wimpy. So if the guy has no good guy qualities, women don't like him because he's just a jerk. He's probably one of those prisoners. Of course, there are women who like these prisoners. Okay, there are all kinds of emotionally damaged people going for all kinds of emotionally damaged people. I'm talking about the average person. And if he is a very high on the good guy zone, a lot of investment in us, a super bad boy's Prince Charming doesn't exist, but less bad, he's a perfect husband. And yeah, he's a perfect husband, I would say, definitely. I'm going to show you the husband zone again. Now here, the husband zone. Here's the good guy. He's got to be good enough, and he's got to be bad boy enough, okay? He's got to be bad boy enough, and that puts him in the husband zone. But he's going to get friend zoned if he has no bad boy qualities. He's got to have enough bad boy to be a husband. So I agree with that. I totally love that. And I'm very attracted to masculine men who, I think that's why so many of us women are single, because we love the guy who's confident and masculine and wants to pin us down, fuck us in bed, like good in bed, but yet also invests in us and is very into us and is like a good father. And those men are really hard to find. And so for me, I'd rather be alone than be with someone who's not that. If I ever get into another relationship again, he will either be a Prince Charming or a husband material for me. And in 11 years of being divorced, I haven't met anyone like that, so I don't date, and I would rather be alone than be with anyone other than that. So that's how women are very picky, whereas a man, I think, is more likely to settle. But even a lot of guys are saying, hey, if I can't get what I want, I don't want it at all. Maybe we're all kind of going that way, becoming just a lot more picky. But I thought that was a really good chart explaining the differences, and there's no DEI or political correctness or sympathy or pity when it comes to the mating game, when it comes to desire and attraction. It's not based on every kid gets a trophy, everybody's of equal value, you deserve a shot at getting some pussy, no one deserves a shot at getting some pussy. For a lot of guys, for me, I can't get one of those guys that I would want. I see them. They're all married. I see those guys. I can never get a guy like that. Because to get a guy like that, I would have had to go to an Ivy League school. Okay, let's look at Princess Kate. She got a Prince Charming. I'm assuming he fucks her really well. Seems like a guy who would be good in bed. He's very successful. He's kind of a bad boy. He gives a little bit of a bad boy vibe, even though he's, Prince William. Let's look at Princess Kate as the typical woman who lands a successful guy. She has a lot of accomplishments. Okay, so she was from some elite circle. She went to a private school. She has a degree in art history. She was doing charity work. I don't know what else she does, but I've seen her play like polo, doing like rock climbing, playing beautifully the piano, being a mother, doing charity work, being fit, working out. She is involved in a lot of charitable activities, and she has to be perfectly presented at all times. Now, all the guys who are saying guys just don't care what a woman does, yes, they do. Do you think that an average woman could have ever made it into that? I mean, I know Prince Harry married like a middling, narcissistic actress that brought him down, but he has other issues. These men, like Jared Kushner, he wouldn't have just married just any woman who worked at McDonald's because she's hot. Like those guys on Fresh and Fit are completely deluded when they say a man doesn't care what a woman does for work because her income doesn't matter. That's how uneducated men speak. I'm sorry to say that so bluntly. Men who come from good families and men who are educated, they marry in their own class. So like the Kennedys marry in their own circles. You're not going to go, you know, I have a family member who went to Dartmouth, and I went to Dartmouth to visit this person, and it's a completely different type, the way that they dress, they come from money, they date each other. If you go to Dartmouth, you're not going to marry some woman who works at McDonald's. You need a woman who represents your social circle, because there's so many beautiful women who are accomplished and beautiful. Just look at Megyn Kelly, or look at any of the TV journalists or female lawyers who you often see on TV. They're beautiful, they're educated, they're feminine, many of them are mothers, and that's what these guys look for. And so that's why I'm saying I'm out of the running, because I don't have like I don't come from like a royalty. I don't have like a political family. I don't have charity work. And I don't even want all that. I mean, I think that these women who try to do all that, I think that their health suffers. So many women who try to be everything and do everything, they overwork their adrenal glands. And I'm not surprised that some of them end up having cancer or inflammatory diseases and all kinds of issues, drinking problems, food eating disorders, because they're stressing themselves out like they're way too accomplished. But that's what those men want. They either want a trophy wife. I have a family member who used to work on one of the top firms on Wall Street, that Goldman Sachs was one of their clients. And so I visit this person in New York, and we were invited on that particular night to one of the owners of the law firm, one of the I forgot what it's called, not associate, but we went out to this huge house in Connecticut. And the wife just seemed very withdrawn and quiet. I think her husband must have worked all the time. They had all these young lawyers there. I happened to be invited because I was there as a family member. And they work really long hours. You never see a husband like that. And one of the guys, we drove up with him. He was newly married, and he had 2 little kids. And he told me on the elevator, we went to pick him up, and as we rode down in the elevator with him and his wife to drive together to Connecticut, he said that he was going to quit his job at this very prestigious. In order to get a job at that law firm, you have to have been on the law review, you had to have clerked for a federal judge, like you got to be top notch. That guy was a top notch to even get that job. It was Sullivan and Cromwell, it's the company, the law firm. And he said, I'm going to quit. I'm going to go back to where my family is in West Virginia, because I work so much. He goes, I work every day. I sleep at the office. I have a change of clothes at the office. He said the first day I had off in over a year was on Thanksgiving. My family was in town. We were sitting down to eat dinner with the kids. And I got a phone call. I had to go to the office. And you have to go. He goes, that was it. I decided this is not the kind of life I want to live. Well, if you're one of these guys who's very successful, very bad boy, good provider, these guys work a lot of hours. You will never see them. And you often end up, the only men who will do those kind of jobs are men who don't really care about their family, or they care about money more than their family. So they're emotionally unavailable, I think. They're absent. And the wife never sees them. She's basically she's basically alone, and maybe some women like that. So I think men in the military go into that category. If they're too much bad boy, if they're too much into, I gotta make the money, I don't think they make good husbands. It's not a good lifestyle. It's not a healthy lifestyle. And another one that came to mind, I was thinking about Chris Cuomo was just doing an interview, or Robert Kennedy trying to convince him to like replace Biden or whatever. And the commenter who was showing that clip was pointing out that they have a history together. Like one of Chris Cuomo's relatives married one of the Kennedys, and I looked at her accomplishments, this Kennedy woman, her accomplishments. I was blown away. Let me just read them to you. I don't know if I have the right one. Mary Carey Kennedy. She's 2 years older than I am. She's an American lawyer, author, and human rights activist. She was married to Andrew Cuomo. So maybe that's the one. But someone like Andy Cuomo is not going to marry just anyone. I bet she went to one of those like really good schools too. Like an Ivy League school. No, she's not the one. The one I'm thinking of is a brunette. But anyway, what I'm saying is that these men who are the top men in society, they go for the top women. They want someone who's equally accomplished in their career. And I have a very, very kind of a different life but my problem is I never see guys like that in real life anyway. I see them all on TV. And I live in the suburbs in San Diego. Like I live around families, and I'm just not in a town where there are like a lot of really intriguing men. Like I've even looked up, I love interesting lectures and talks. And one of my kids went to UCSB, and when I was driving around in Santa Barbara, I saw on the marquee Esther Perel coming to talk. I'm like, damn, I want to see Esther Perel. She must come to San Diego. No, because in places like Santa Barbara, you have more interesting people, wealthy people, different type of people, and they actually got together and raised the money to bring Esther Perel there. Well, San Diego is just it's just kind of like a very uneducated. We have some universities, but we don't have the culture of a Santa Barbara or New York or Chicago. We're just kind of beach bums, frankly, people who are dressed very casually. And if you look on the lecture circuit, I spend some time looking for interesting lectures to go to. There might be some stuff at UCSD about some arcane biology thing, but there's nobody here that brings interesting speakers to San Diego. I haven't seen any. So that would be a place to meet interesting people. Like people here, I'm from Germany. I feel like I'm a little bit more cultured, but I was raised with a little bit more formality growing up, seeing that, and, living with my grandparents who were more like upper middle class, and like the kind of people they had, like a little bit of staff, I should say, and people treating each other a little bit more formally and being educated in Germany. I just have higher standards and expectations than what the men in San Diego are. So I don't feel attracted to them. And also, I like white men. I've only ever dated white men, and that was never a problem in the Midwest, where there are so many white men. But San Diego is like minority white now, I think. Anyway, I don't think that I will ever. This is the problem for women. Like, we would rather not date at all than date down. And for fucking, it's the same. I don't want to fuck anyone unless he's giving me resources and is kind to me. Resources, that's what I want. And men don't care about resources. They just care about looks and personality. But again, that's fine. I think it's good to know our differences. Basically, people want to know, what can you give me? What can you do for me? That's what people want to know. Men want to know, are you hot enough? Are you going to be easygoing enough? Are you going to add to my life? Are you going to cause me a bunch of drama? Are you going to be easygoing, friendly, nice? Give me some blowjobs once in a while. Let me go off and do my thing and just be fun. And women are saying, are you going to add to my life in terms of resources? I want to be proud to be seen with you in public. And are you masculine enough? You know, so that, can you give me that? Can you give me that? Give me that. Give me that. So that I can give you this. I can give you this. And men are saying, are you going to give me this so I can give you this? The issue that we really have is that too many men seem to think that their masculinity is a problem. And there's this lot of this like liberal stuff and feminism telling men that their masculinity is a problem, but it isn't. You want to get fucked? You want a woman to desire you? You better bring out your power, your dominance, and let me read all these other ones because I think he gave a good wording on his list. Dominance. You want to be dominant. These are highly valued qualities in a man. Dominance, power, confidence, smoothness, and dark triad. I'm not sure about the dark triad, but I would say easygoing. I would add easygoing. I do not like to be around men who get easily flustered, who get easily tripped up, who are all reactive, and like even guys leaving nasty comments on my videos are like totally not masculine. Masculine men are like, oh, whatever, she's funny, whatever, let her go, I'm just moving on. They don't like something, they're just going to move on. And they have this aura about them that was just like makes a fire burn in the groin of our bellies. That's masculinity is so hot. And it doesn't matter how tall you are or how much money you have. For the masculinity, none of that matters. If you're a masculine man, if you're confident and you're dominant and you sense your own power and you own it, that is so attractive to women. And a lot of that has to do with owning your masculinity and owning your sexuality and doing masculine things. Like every man should be able to go, not in the high heat now, but weekend camping in the desert, backpacking with his dog. That's a man. You should be able to fix a bicycle, fix a car. But doing rugged outdoor stuff is so hot. I just love that. When I was on Tinder looking for young guys to fuck, I always went for the guys who were like fit and strong, these young guys, white guys. And if they were out hiking somewhere with their dog or had a happy smile, like a happy guy who's going to add to my life, he's happy with his life, he's doing the outdoor thing, he doesn't care what anyone thinks, he's in his Jeep with his dog, maybe he has some tattoos and he has a kind smile. That was like the guy I wanted to fuck. And I got a lot of those guys. But now finding guys like that, I don't see guys like that. And I'm not interested in 20-year-olds anymore unless they're coming to me for appointments, of course. My bookkeeping appointments. And most of my bookkeeping appointments are with younger people, I would say. I hardly get anyone over my age. That's another reason. Like, why would I want to date some old guy when I'm surrounded by these young guys who give me resources? And I would have to trade out the young guys who give me fun and resources for some old guy who wants to tie me down. So the guy would have to be super interesting. And a lot of you remind me on here that I'm not all that, which is fine. But I'm telling you, I would not trade the life that I have now for some relationship. If I wasn't so blessed with these young guys, I still would rather just be alone than be bothered with some guy who doesn't add to my life. And like I said, I don't have what it takes to be in one of these, to get one of these guys that's a Prince Charming. I didn't go to Dartmouth. I'm not on any charities. I'm not like a workaholic. I refuse. But like I said, these women that are workaholics, I think that they run their adrenal glands down and they run their immune systems down. I do not think it's thriving. And I'm actually thriving. But back to the point of the video is I think the Hoe Math chart really works and I see myself in that, and I would either want a Prince Charming or a husband. If I can't have either one of those, top category, Prince Charming or husband. If I can't have one of those, I'm not even going to date at all. Okay, I will not even date at all. I'm not going to settle again. I think I kind of settled a little bit the last time. I think my ex-husband was in the husband zone with a little bit of settling because he sucked in bed. He always sucked in bed. That's the settling part. But otherwise than that, he was a good husband zone. Enough of a bad boy and good on resources and presentation. So that's all I have on this. And yeah, these damn women, they're so picky. I am so fucking picky. I don't even care about all the other stuff, but I want to feel attracted to the guy and I want to feel like he adds to my life, and then I'm proud to be seen with him. And if I can't have that, I would rather be alone. And that's a good thing because I think it's better to be alone than be with people who bring you down. But what do you think? What do you think about the Hoe Math chart? Have you watched the video? Do you think that it explains how you feel? If you're a man, does it explain how you feel about women? Ladies, do you understand what I mean with the bad boy thing? Do you relate to that at all? Anyway, thanks so much, you guys, for watching my video, and happy 4th of July once again.